Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
Can't stop me now.
Activated.
Welcome back to the Boxing Biz Podcast show here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And soon, many more social media platforms. Don't forget to check us out on iHeartRadio and Google Podcast and all your other podcast hosting sites. What's up? Been a few hours from from this morning. We covered Jarrell Miller versus... what's my man's name? Jeez. My man Michael Hunter, who was just on an interview on TBV. So if you guys want to, make sure to check that out. Give us some insight on the fight and how it came about and his current status. So go check out the interview, Michael Hunter, which just recently finished and happened on TBV. But great insights. And we did talk about it a bit this morning, but of course we have a major card this weekend, right? Happening across the pond.
Doomatron activated.
You know what I'm saying? It's my man Moses Itauma. I hope I'm saying it right. Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. Typical young lion versus the old lion story, right? Shout out to my man James Valdez too, man. First on the check-in. Champ. Where you been at, champy? Or maybe you should be asking me that, right?
Woo! Let's go, champ. You feel me?
He said, I'll check in a bit, homie. Just came in to smash that like button here and on Facebook. Chill. Shout out to my man James, bro. Always stopping by, showing love. And, of course, you can do the same just by clicking that like button. Doesn't take too much, right? I hope it doesn't. And, of course, you help the algorithm move. This is how the way YouTube works, right? Can't say it enough, and I will say it again and again because it definitely helps. So, you know, no monetary basis on that help. It's just you showing some love. And in turn, YouTube shows me love, right? So hit that like, hit the subscribe button if you like what you're listening to, and, of course, notification bell so you know when we're going live. Gee. All right. So let's get into it, right? This is a full preview of the entire card. Of course, we're going to probably dive into the left and rights of some of these fighters. What I mean by that, you know, some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses. And give me a second. Whoa. And some of the keys to victory, right? I'm not going to get too in-depth into it, but I like to start out the weekend talking about, you know, the weekend's card because, of course, if you guys didn't know, now you know we do have a betting show on Fridays for Saturday's fights here on the Boxing Biz. We call it the Better Betting Show. So if you haven't checked out the show, I think we're 2 episodes in so far, and we'll continue to kick these out as they have been on demand as of late. You know, I know a lot of people gamble. Some don't, some will, some maybe never. But, you know, the way we play here on the Boxing Biz, the Better Betting Show, we don't lose our shirts. We hedge bets. We watch out for the trap lines. We do our film studies, and we win money. So far, we've been on the green in the last 2 shows. Even if we've lost bets, we've hedged them and got our money back. So, you know, start for the week just to get an overlook on these fighters. And, of course, the betting lines will continue to open with other cards, if there's other cards that they'll include in the betting lines. I think as of right now, excuse me, if I check out, let me see. Producer in the building. Okay, producer, thank you very much. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, if the betting lines change, I mean odds change as the week approaches, as the fight approaches, but what I tend to see is that, sometimes we have, additions. So if you try to get in a parlay, you might be able to get more fighters onto that parlay, or maybe switch them around. So I don't really like to put in the bets unless it's something that I'm totally 100% sure, and I just want to. I like the numbers that I'm seeing right from the beginning of the week. But if not, I usually wait until Friday. Even some live betting. I keep mentioning the live betting because if you get that first round, you get a good feel for it. You got maybe like a minute into the first round where you could do a live bet. Not the best advice, but sometimes you can do a last minute bet and maybe hedge a bet that you probably feel different now that you've seen this first round, go. Sometimes you think you're betting on somebody, first round starts, and he's getting his ass kicked. So, great for the live betting. All right. Excuse me. I'm over here chewing gum. Let's see. Okay. Let's start off with, I think we'll start. We'll keep it at the at 4 fights. I know, we still got some guys that are coming on strong. You can see them being pushed along, right? In Riyadh, one of the Riyadh seasoned fighters. Shout out to Muhammad Al-Akel. Young fighter's been, pushed along. I like that he's been active. You know what I'm saying? You guys can't start, talking too much about the young fella, but you can start talking that at least he's super active and they got him active and he wants to stay active. So looks like it's probably one of Riyadh's future contenders and fighters that might be onto something here. So he'll be taking on Unam Santosh Singh, which I do not know who he is. He's 3-6-0. Again, they're bringing up Muhammad Al-Akel accordingly. Don't know if he had much amateur experience, so I think it's a great way to bring him along to develop him, and hopefully, he develops into a contender. We have, looks like they have good hopes on him, and they're invested in Al-Akel. So, all I really can harp on that for now, since he's just, a prospect, but worth keeping an eye on, especially, with what he's shown us so far. He's been taking care of business. I mean, he's supposed to, right? These guys that that they're putting in front of him don't have the best records. So, I mean, he's handling business and he's developing, right? Points, no KOs, but he's developing. Let's see who else we have on the card. Of course, Hayatu Sutsumi, right? Shout out to Japan, too, man. Japan's been bringing in some fights. They got some fighters out there. Even though Ricardo Sandoval, took out Kenshiro. Very passionate fighters, the Japanese fighters, man. Kenshiro took that kind of hard, bro. I was kind of, I was feeling him on that, bro. He took the L pretty hard. Hometown loss hurts more than being out of town. So, yeah, shout out to Japan, kicking out some good fighters. Hayato Sutsumi from Japan. And what are we doing here? He's fighting Kais Ashfaq. Oh, my goodness. I almost messed that up. Oh, man, y'all almost caught me with this. I don't know if it's Boxrec trying to get me to say shit. But if I'm pronouncing this right, Muhammad Al-Akel will be taking on Kais Ashfaq. I'm not lying. I'm telling you I'm not lying. Listen, I'll bring it up on the screen if you think I'm lying. But that's the name. I got to bring this up. I'm not even kidding, Most of the time I get them right. All right. There you go. I mean, if you guys could pronounce it differently, let me know, because I'm looking at Ashfaq. All right, man. You guys know what I'm trying to say, man. Ashfaq. So, yeah. So, 3-6-0. Not the greatest opponent, obviously. You know what? Give me a second. I'm going to take this chicle. All right. Yeah. Had to get rid of the gum, guys. I'm being yelled at by the producer. Okay. All right. Now that we covered those two fights, we can get into the the main attraction fights. I never like to not talk about the ones that they got in the top 5. Obviously, we're there to see Moses and Dillian, but let's start with Filip Hrgović, man. Filip Hrgović, which he had a battle with Daniel Dubois, a battle that I do not want to see him in again, right? Especially with a guy like David Adelaide. He was able to go the distance with a guy that's just as durable. Well, actually, you know what? Between George Joyce and Daniel Dubois, I'd say George Joyce is probably more durable, given that Daniel Dubois has, called it quits, per se. I mean, I didn't blame him too much in the fight where his eye got messed up by George Joyce. I think, sometimes you got to make the right move, man. And you got to save yourself, right? Corner could be telling you to go. Your body could be telling you to go. But if you got an injury where you could lose an eye, I'm not even mad at you, right? I mean, look, Kell Brook got his eye cracked out. He took a knee. It said, you got to know when to just say, hey, I need to see tomorrow, right? Past today. So, excuse me. So, it was okay, I guess, for the first time Danny Dubois didn't want to continue. But, the one with Alexander Usyk, I got to say, looked like he could have kept going. He was just he got the will beat out of him, and that's just that's fair. You didn't want to go no more. You could have, body could have. No major injury, no eye injury, no broken nose, no nothing. It was just he got the will beat out of him. And again, George Joyce a little more durable, right? But David Adelaide for sure is gonna be bringing that power, bro. David Adelaide lately, he's been on a terror. He's been TKOing guys, of course. Fabio Worley took care of him. I think it was in 2023. Yeah, I think October 23. He got knocked out, right? So but Fabio's been knocking guys out left and right. Can't hold that too much against him, right? Since Worley is probably knocked out, except Fraser Clark, right? Got a draw? That was a draw he got, right? With Fraser Clark. But he TKO'd everybody else. Everybody else has gotten the mittens. So, 19 wins, 18 KOs, 1 draw. Listen. And I always said it. Fabio Worley's not the biggest heavyweight, in the division. He has explosive power, very fast twitch, super fast hooks. Obviously, when you're weighing what you're weighing in the heavyweights, any speed alongside that weight equals power. So, I'm not the biggest guy, but surely hits one of the most hard-hitting ones. And that 94% KO ratio, tells a story. Let's see what we got. So, yeah, going back to Filip versus David Adelaide. I like what I've been seeing from David Adelaide. I really do. I think that, in the last fight that Filip Hrgović had, it was like a do or die kind of fight, right? He's been kind of like do or die fights. But Daniel Dubois obviously wasn't a do or die fight, but he got beat. So that again, you get thrown into another hard fight to try to see if you're that metal. You know what I mean? To try to see if you really got that. And Filip, I think he still has it. I just don't like the whole standing tall style. I think that he can get hit a lot less if he decides to maybe, I'm not saying shrink down to your opponent's size, but, sometimes when I see fighters standing too tall, and I'm going to throw up we're going to start our film reviews alongside some of this critique, right? So I want you guys to be able to visually see. For those that are watching also, obviously I'll be more descriptive for those that are just on sound. But if we take a look at Filip Hrgović, right, and some of the damage he took. And, of course, we're going to go for, let's see, Filip. Okay. And we're going to go for the fight with even we can even take a look at the Joe Joyce fight. We don't have to go back to where he lost. We could see some of the damage that he takes with Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is a very, I'm not saying that he's super basic, but come on, we know what we get from Joe Joyce, right? Rock him, sock him, robot, come forward. Not the smoothest boxer, but effective nonetheless. If the pressure increases, Joe Joyce can definitely put some pressure that can equate to some damage eventually after the onslaught continuing for the first half of the fight. He can start to wear on you, but not something super out of the ordinary as far as boxing style. So just and look, I'm gonna stop it right here. Just from the beginning, I want you guys to see how Hrgović stands tall, how he's easily hit to the body with a jab. So, and Joe Joyce is not the fastest guy. You get it? So, what I'm seeing next with David Adelaide, I personally got David Adelaide in this fight. I think that he's off a lot of confidence right now, and he's just a little more devastating as of now. I mean, we knew that Philip was devastating. We called him El Animal. It's KOing cats, and then I don't know. He took like a hiatus for a little bit. And when was that actually that he took this hiatus? Maybe I'm forgetting. 2020. Well, he fought 3 times in 2020, twice in 21, once in 22. Okay, so that's the year maybe that I'm probably referring to. 2 fights, 1 fight in 24. Yeah, he's taking like these long layoffs. Don't know if it's politics or maybe injuries or whatnot. But yeah, there you go. 1 fight in 22, 1 fight in 24. Back to activity. I can't say too much then about the inactivity. He's back at it again. Those gaps don't really mean much now that he's here. But yeah, let me get back to what I wanted to show you guys. Here we go. I'm going to let me see. That's not it. Where is it? Just had it up. All right. Here we go. Let me know if you guys see the screen. Gonna throw it up now. There we go. And here we go. All right, guys. Should be up there on the screen. I'm actually going to... There we go. All right. Before we go ahead and start this breakdown and kind of seeing some of these weaknesses, thank you for stopping by. Shout out to the chat and everybody on there. Appreciate everybody on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. Oops. Forgot to hit the Instagram start button again, y'all. Hold up. Let me welcome the Instagram family. Instagram family, welcome to the show. Apologies. Forgot to hit the go live button again. Whoops.
Let's go, champ. You feel me?
Want to keep it chucking, though. We're talking Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte and the full card. We're doing a full preview. So if you missed some of the first half of the show, I don't know how long we've been on. If you missed the first 30 minutes of the show, probably, or first 20 minutes, you can go back and check it out. But we're actually starting to the meat and potatoes, of the show right now. Again, thank you for stopping by. Anybody that wants to come on, I'll be throwing on the StreamYard link up on the comments section. So you guys are more than welcome to stop by. All right, over here we this is open mic over here at the Boxing Biz. Rith, what up, champ? Rith says, what's up? I have just been busy cause I just got into college. Damn, shout out to the bro in college, bro. Shout out to the man Rith, bro.
Woo! Let's go, champ. You feel me?
Exercising.
Champion's prerogative, and I just exercised that option.
Let's go, champ. Says new setup looks clean. Sheesh. Good looking out, bro. Appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, man. I was away for a week and a half, but I was busy. I was painting and getting things ready. I'll do a few more posts so you guys can actually see my station. Shout out to everybody that has helped out. Shout out to True Tax Corp for sponsoring some of the equipment. Shout out to Dental Divas, obviously. That's my ladies' outfit, and for always showing support. But yeah, we got a nice little studio going, man, and I'm gonna continue to come on here and bring you guys the latest and greatest in boxing news. All right. So shout out to my man Forrith in college. Chip. All right, let's start this program real quick. All right. Matter of fact, there we go. All right, let's start this, bro. Let's start this. Boop. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got it. And you know I got it. All right. I'll probably put a little bit of the volume up. Why not? Not too much, because that's another reason why these YouTube... I'm telling you, we got to get these numbers up, man. YouTube sometimes, like, flags me down for the dumbest things. And I'm just like, bro, like, can you stop stopping the flow here? I'll do a fight review, and they'll be on my ass. I got to say I got to write a 1,000,000-word reason why you shouldn't mess with me. But appreciate you guys stopping by with the love, bro. All right, so look, Filip Hrgović versus Joe Joyce. Remember, we got Adelaide versus Filip Hrgović this weekend on the undercard for Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. This is happening across the pond, so shout out to all the brubs out there. We're doing a little review per fight on the card, and we started with Hrgović. Look at how tall my man stands, bro. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're going to stand tall, you got to widen out a little bit, right? Just a little bit, not too much, because then you're caught up where you can't move too much. But tell me what you guys think. Because, again, we got the betting show on Friday, and I like to start taking a look at these fighters and some of their attributes, right? And not only their attributes, I like to see some of their weaknesses. And I'm seeing some weaknesses here with this stand tall Eiffel Tower style that my man Hrgović got. Look at this. We betting money, man. We gotta know what we're talking about. Look at this.
Psychologically untangle in fights, but we know he does have real power. And
now I just want you to see the jab to the body. The jab to the body, definitely easy to get to Hrgović. Watch this.
The ability and maybe pressure.
I don't know about no ability. Let's see. Look how tall he stands, bro. No bending on the knees. It's like, there you go. He's got good reach, though. But just keep looking at that body for Filip Hrgović. Joe Joyce was catching him with that jab, too. But it's a very stand tall. Very stand tall. I mean, you saw that right he just threw, right? That right he just threw, he ain't really even set it up. Look. Watch this. Right there. Look at that. You see how he reached in? He reached in for that body. No jab up top, you know, to take away the eyes real quick while I try to hit the body. Just very risky stuff. Very risky stuff, man. You ain't gonna be able to do that with Adelaide. Look, he took punishment from Danny Dubois, and Danny Dubois got bricks on his hands. But, you know, the more you hit that chin, it starts to deteriorate. Look at that. Look at this. Again, just looking at this style, right? Good one, too, for Filip Hrgović. He got a good overhand right. Filip. I think sometimes he falls in love with some of his work. Damn. Get back in here. Shout out to everybody that's on too, man. Through the link up there. If you want to go ahead and stop by, you can stop by and state your piece. We're doing a little fight review as we go along the whole entire card. So welcome to the show. If you're just stopping by, hit the subscribe, notification bell, and if you like what you're listening to, well, tell a friend to tell a friend. Champ. Back to the head. You know what? I'm gonna take that. I'm not even gonna take a risk with this volume, man. I'll go ahead and put some background music for y'all, cause I am not about to let them get me. Matter of fact, what can I put for y'all? To put the Rock song on. I think the Rock song. Where's it at? Good hook for Phillip right now. Ooh, good right hand. Bro, he was hitting Joyce with some real mean right hands, bro. Mean right hands. And Joyce was not, he wasn't showing like it was affecting him. Damn, where's that? Oh, matter of fact, I have it right here. Looking for this right here. There we go. We're going to put some soul music right there. Call this Soulicious while we break down the fight. All right. There we go. Let me know if that's too loud for y'all, man. Just to have something cooking in the background, you know? Nothing crazy. All right. Let's continue this quick fight review on Filip Hrgović. Obviously, this is a highlight that we're watching, so we're getting to see a little bit of both sides on what they did good. This was round 2, so I mean, still early in the fight. This fight started off quick, kind of rock and sock 'em kind of robots. 1-2, 1-2. A lot of reaching in. I mean, there's not much I can say skill for skill. You know what I mean? It's just major power going on right now. Filip Hrgović, I don't even know if I want to see more tape on him, bro. This is crazy. You know what I mean? I got to see more tape on David to see what David can do, to kind of get into some of these holes that I'm seeing. And look, let me know if I'm talking too much. Let me know. I mean, so far I'm seeing good movement. He's parrying a couple of shots, but he's so susceptible to that body, that jab to the body. I mean, look how the way he holds up his gloves. His gloves be up here like in a triangle form. And it just leaves that body open, Leaning into the corner. See, this right here is a no-no. Unless you're trying to counter somebody. Shout out to Alex Alberto G on the chat. Shout out to the champ. He says, hey, bro. Matter of fact, let me put this up. Take a real quick curb tail real quick. Bang. Shout out to my man Alex Alberto G. Says, hey, bro, can I get a quick initial thoughts on Fernando Vargas Jr. versus Caleb Walsh? You think Vargas is going to shine? Oh, man, I'll get into that for sure. I'll give you a quick one right now. Definitely is going to be probably Fernando's biggest challenge up until this time, bro. Fernando and his brothers have been coming up, creating a buzz. All three brothers have been winning. And I got to say, man, I met these guys in Vegas. I think it was in 22, the end of 22, if I'm not mistaken, or 21. I forget. But great family, great guidance, and it's hard to bet against them because I kind of feel like I'm a little biased in a sense. I'm a little biased. I really support those guys, and of course, my man Callum Walsh. Coming from across the pond, obviously, he's gonna surprise a lot of guys here in America. Probably for those that don't know him too much, but he's had a lot of fights here in America. Probably all of them. All of them. Matter of fact, I think Dublin. Damn, he went to Dublin one time. Jeez. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong here. I thought my man was a Ireland native. Excuse me, he's from Ventura, California. So, yeah. Shit, man. It's not an easy fight for Fernando, brother. And honestly, right now, as of right now, I got Fernando on this one. But I'm going to get into a deeper dive on this fight and some of the other fights for the Crawford fight. Since there's going to be a few good fights on that. And, we'll get deeper into what I think might happen. Obviously, Caleb Walsh right now is that guy, right? He's holding a title, if I'm not mistaken, is he? He has a WBC Continental America Super. Okay, so maybe is there anything gonna be on the line for this title? I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, nope. Oh, is there? No, there's no titles, no nothing, no regional, international titles. I guess for positioning more than anything. Fernando Vargas is ranked 39. Is he 39 now? What is this? Trying to see what yeah, I think that is 18. Wow. Okay. Well, look, Alexa, if you're trying to get an answer out of me, I think Vargas can shine. It's not going to be easy, though. It's not going to be easy. My man Super Max in the building says activate the Doomatron. You already know, champ.
Activated.
Search Alex Doomsday Liners on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. We're doing a quick, preview of the entire fight card for this weekend. We get them ready for the betting show. That's the Better Betting Show on Fridays for Saturday fights here on the Boxing Biz. So make sure you check us out on the Better Boxing Show where we make money. We don't fall into those trap lines. No. We make sure we get the money. And if we lose the money, we hedge the money. Yeah, I mean, let's go back. Look at your boy Philip over here. Thought it was a good idea just to post up in the corner and just say, hey, come on, fight me. Fight me with a non-defensive pose style, too, because he has his hands up. He's in an offensive mode right now. Watch this. Let's see what my man does. Here we go. But Joseph, Joseph is easy to get hit, too, bro. He's so easy to get hit. That's why I can't really say too much. He was rocking socking right into the same, they were fighting. They were fighting right into that style. Rock 'em, sock 'em. Rock and sock 'em, champ. Let's get him back in there. Just look, again, we're not trying to say that Philip does everything wrong. We're just trying to see what styles, styles make fights. You got a very stand tall. Look, likes to be on the ropes. Can't be on the ropes with guys like Adelaide. Adelaide has a little bit of more steam on the punches, a little more power. He likes to parry though. You see Filip Hrgović. He'll give you his left shoulder and start to parry you. Let me bring it back actually. See if I can get you guys to see what he actually does. Let me see if I can stop it there. I think it's right here. Look at the parry. So you see the parry, right? You see, I know you guys can see my the mouse, right? The arrow. So if you see right here, loves using that right parry, likes to put up that left shoulder, right? This is the typical kind of Philly shell. Likes to parry. You know what I mean? I don't know if you want to be using too much of this style. I don't know. For me, when you're going up in weight, when you're dealing with the heavyweights, any guard, any guard is useful given the moment in the fight. But for heavyweights, personally, me, I mean, I don't really recommend using the Philly shell too often because remember, you're getting battered by a lot of weight, a lot of power. Deflecting punches off the shoulders a little more impactful, if you want to say, when you're deflecting punches. On a heavyweight scale, it's just a little different. Don't always recommend it. I like the parry though. You can always time parries, but taking punches on the shoulders and on the elbow, near the elbow joint too, because somebody could crack. See, you don't. When somebody uses the and I'll get up for this shit. You know what I mean? Because Doomy, I'll put on my coach hat on real quick. But when you're using the Philly, the elbow sometimes protects the ribs, the side. But a smart boxer like Canelo, let's say, who punches the biceps, punches all the weak points on the body. It's the whole body's a target. You got to beat the shit out of everything, right? You got to do it the right way, too. So I say all that to say this. You punch that elbow joint enough, the right way. You don't want to break your hand on that elbow. But if you punch it, you target it the right way, you that man won't be able to jab out. By the time you know it, you've beaten up that elbow joint so much that you can't even extend that arm. You feel me? But I'm giving you, deep jewels right here. It's the shit I give my fighters. Fall back, small back. Shout out to my man Alex Alberto G, though, for tapping in on that. Yeah, I don't want to say 100%, Fernando Vargas is winning, Junior. No, I'm rooting for him. I just got to go back and do some more studying on Calum, right? Because that's what I do, guys. I just go back and I watch and I see. It's what I need to do, especially if I'm going to be putting it on the betting show. So we'll definitely do a deeper dive on that, Alex. But while you're here, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Tap in on the social media, too. Give us a follow on Instagram, on X, and on Facebook, for that matter. So appreciate you stopping by, showing some love. Remember, that link is up there, and I'll go ahead and actually star it so you guys can see it at the top. You can tap in. Some of the community members were on earlier. Shout out to Puro Sur, who was in the building tapping in. Shout out to Coqui, gave us great insight on Suriel Matias and some of the bodies out there. So definitely appreciate y'all with all the insights, right? Because I don't know it all, champ. You might know a little more than me. Maybe. Champ. Let's continue this breakdown. Let me see where we at. There we go. All right, let's continue this breakdown, champions. That's right, to this day. Stop playing. To this day. Where we at? There we go. Boom. Why my man George Joyce getting ready to throw a fastball at him? Yo, look at this face, bro. My man George Joyce ready to throw a fastball on him, but he ready to parry. Watch the parry from Phillip. Oh my God, that was such a bad miss on Joe Joyce. Look at this shit. And all it takes sometimes, man, is a little bit of shoulder. You saw that in this Philly shell moment. Phillip didn't take, if anything, any of that power. But the jab to the stomach, just the body, bro. Mass susceptible, Phillip, man. And this was already in the 8th round. These guys had been in the battle. Anybody that caught this fight, the battle that these guys were in. They took a lot of shots. And chins don't get stronger by taking shots, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Your chin don't get stronger by taking shots. So, taking these many shots, it's not like Phillip's chin is getting any stronger. Let's see again. Bing, bing. And you see Phillip too, bro. He was okay with leaning on the ropes. To me, he was the one gassing out. And trust me, I'm going to go back and critique this shit out of David Adelaide too. Y'all probably looking at me like, damn, Doomy, you a hater. You hating on Phillip. Phillip is an amateur star and all this other stuff you're going to tell me. He's a killer. El Animal. Look, he's hitting Joe Joyce with everything but the kitchen sink. Can't take him out. Can't take him out. Cannot take him out. And I think that was the 10th round, right? Let's see. No, it's still the 8th round highlight. Let's see where we go now. Yeah, this is the 9th round. Same thing, that parry, that right-hand parry. That right-hand parry, man, that shit could get timed, bro. If you keep parrying my jab with the same parry, I could set that up. That's something to look at on David Adelaide's part and his team. But I think I saw enough. I don't think I need to go in too much anymore. Let's see. Well, we had a few more minutes of these rounds. These were the later rounds. Listen, I can safely say that I got what I needed to get just now from this fight. I always do deeper dives with at least 3 other fights before, just to kind of see some of the holes or some of the advancements in some of these guys' styles. But this shows me just a little bit of what I some of the good, obviously. For a heavyweight, he likes to throw combination punches, hard punches, giving him the higher probability, obviously, of landing a good shot. So Hrgović gets points for that. But that standing tall, easy body work, let's see what David Adelaide's team has lined up. Because that's easy body work right there. And people don't, another thing I don't see enough, I said it on the last show, bro, is heavyweights got to start going to the body more, man. Just gots to, bro. This guy's got to start going to the body, getting these stoppages to the body. I mean, there's so much power in the heavyweight division. Why are you not hitting the liver? Like, hit the liver, dog. El hígado. Let's see. Let's get into my man David. Doomy's gonna criticize everybody. Hey, listen, I do it just because I see certain holes. All right, don't get mad at me. Some of y'all boxers get mad and shit. I'm not trying to come down on nobody. Just stating some of the facts. Clean it up. All right. Let's see who my man David Adelaide fought. Well, he TKO'd the shit out of Jimmy Shkavia, whatever the hell. Solomon Dakris. Ooh, Solomon just came back on a comeback fight. He TKO'd him like nothing. Jeez. And that's only really, Fabio Wardley. Maybe we should take a look at the Fabio Wardley fight with David Adelaide just to see where he went wrong. TKO Jimmy Shkavia, which I think I know. Yep. I know. I'm pretty sure you pronounce it Jamie Shkeva, which was at first I thought it was gonna be like a back and forth, real hardcore fight, but David Adelaide took care of business pretty well that evening and finished Jamie. No questions asked. Solomon Dakris. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that Fabio Wardley fight. I think it's worth looking at right now and seeing where did my man go wrong and get knocked out. I personally don't remember exactly how that fight was going, but sure as heck gonna find out right now. Am I still sharing the screen? No, right? Yeah, I'm not. All right, let's take a look at the David Adelaide and Wardley fight. Your man got taken out. Damn. Adelaide. Fabiote. All right, there we go. Holy cow. Why I look up the fight, bro, and the first thumbnail I catch is David Adelaide on the ropes with his tongue out. That's nasty work. I'm going to have to show y'all this. That is messed up, man. Damn. Got my man hanging on the ropes. Look at him, y'all. You see your man's right there? Where you at? You got your boy. Hold up. You see him with the tongue out and everything, bro. Right here. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see what they got. Jeez. This was what? The second round. David Adelaide too. I mean, look. He's not standing tall, but he's definitely getting outgunned right now by Fabio Wardley. Wow. Fabio Wardley, how big is David? Wait. We got to check this out. My man David Adelaide, how tall are you, champ? You're looking kind of small next to Fabio Wardley. He says he's 6'4". Man, these guys are huge. Let's see. Okay, Fabio's 6'5". I mean, an inch. I don't know. Shouldn't be that. I guess because he's crutching a little lower too, David Adelaide. All right, so they're about the same size. I guess sometimes I feel like Fabio is just one of the smaller heavyweights. I don't know. I mean, maybe. How much is he weighing in? How many kilos are we talking about here? Let me see Fabio. Well, he weighed in at 243. Damn, so he's not that small at all, actually. Excuse me. The hell was I thinking? Yeah, he's at 243. He weighs more than Deontay Wilder does. Shit. God, I might have to change that around in my mind. I really thought that he was a little smaller than that. He's bigger than Andy. Yeah, I guess the build. It's maybe the build that throws me off with Fabio. But going back to what I'm seeing right now, looks like he had Adelaide on the back foot right from the beginning. Shit, I don't know. Might have to revisit. So far, my choice, right? So far, I had David, but that's only because I've had strong criticism with that stand tall style of Phillips. But look, David Adelaide on the back foot, able to dodge some punches. Shit, man. David Adelaide was not responding well to pressure in this fight, bro. That's no good. That's no good. And honestly, man, damn. You know, David looks a little heavy. Like, you know, he looks a little sluggish. David looks a little sluggish, bro. I don't know, man. I think Phillips, so far from what I'm seeing right now, gosh, man, he had a lot of trouble with Wardley. And this is the 5th round. Let me see how this continues, man. This could have been, you know, a continuing destruction that he had on Fabio. And I think it goes down to fatigue, too. As you can see right now, this is the later rounds before he gets stopped. I mean, it happened in the first half of the fight, but as you can see right now, he's been on the back foot the whole time. He's been on the back foot. What round does this fight end? Let me get back here. Okay, so he gets TKO'd in the 7th round. Looks like David Adelaide wasn't ready for a 12-round fight, man. Or a 10-round fight this was? No, this was a 12-round fight. He wasn't ready for this. And, of course, you had a few regional or few international titles. You had WBO European Heavy on the line, Commonwealth Boxing Council Heavyweight, the BBB of C British Heavyweight. So, yeah. You had some stuff on the line. You had some titles on the line. Champ. My man David Adelaide looked like his arm's too heavy. Uh-oh. And that's all it takes. Let me tell y'all something right here, and I want you guys to learn, man. Especially those that are fighting, amateurs, professional, whatever you want to call it. You see what my man Wardley just did? And this is what I tell y'all, man. You know, when you're holding in boxing, you can use tasteful holding where you get no shits from the judges, you get no shits from the referees, but you could get some shit off. I want you to see this move. How Wardley, even though you see David Adelaide's right arm trapping Fabio's left arm in that wizard sort of hook, but you're gonna see how Wardley just bumps the shoulder. And it's an explosive combination off the hold. You start it with a bump. The bump's the shocker. The bump's the discalibrator. You bump and you shoot with everything you got. Ferocity is the most important. More important than loading up and all that is veracity. And this is what happens when you get lazy on the hold. I tell fighters all the time, don't get lazy on the hold. People think that when you jump into a hold, it's time for you to relax. Now, that's the time for you to be the most astute. You got your head alongside the other person's head, and y'all falling in love with each other or falling asleep. I'm telling you, you're signing yourself up for a knockout. Because this is what can happen. Now, take a look and pay close attention to this bump. It's going to happen fast. Watch this. Go. That's all it took. Quick bump. 2-piece. Take the biscuit on the side once you're on the floor. Watch this. Look at this. Pan con queso for you. Look, keep getting lazy on the hold. Look. Bump, bang, ping. Look at that. He thought he was at the comedy show for a half a second. It's like, damn, this motherfucker got me. Damn, he blew snot at him. Look at him, y'all. Tell me he blew snot at him. Look. Boom, boom. Don't get lazy on the hold, guys. Don't get lazy on the hold. You're going to end up at a comedy show like your man over here. Shout out to David, though. He got up. See, and that's my qualm with Danny Dubois. I like the guy. You know, another courageous attempt at Alexander Usyk, but you could have gotten up. You just didn't want to. You know, there was no craziness happening. Your eye wasn't busted. There was no broken nose. That's why you lost a little from a lot of hardcore, fighters out there. You know, just come on, champ. But David, on the other hand, he gets up. He's got some metal. But I think Worley finishes him off. There's only 37 seconds left. Let's see what we get. Let's stand and fight, he says. Shit. There you go. Oh, good left hook lands by David Adelaide. It's fatigue, y'all. He's fatigued like a motherfudger. God, David Adelaide's fatigued, bro. It's more fatigued. Oh, he got mad. All right. He didn't like the stoppage. What do y'all think about that stoppage? Hold on, fam. Hold on. How many shots did he take, bro? It was 30 seconds left. Let's see how many shots he took. Because, Worley took a hard shot, too. Look, stand and fight. One shot. Let's count how many shots. One blocked. One good shot lands for Adelaide. One good shot for Fabio. No major shot. Oh, okay, another good shot. He was taking it, but it was 18 seconds left. Why you ain't let my man finish, man? 15 seconds on the clock, you gonna stop the fight. Daggone referee. But he's there to protect you, bro. Any one of those punches could have turned into the life-changing punch. It's hard for a referee out there, bro. It's hard, bro. I'm going to try to see if I get this referee thing, man, for the amateurs, bro. I already got the rundown on how to do it. I just got to make sure I find the time to do it. But, I've refereed a few fights, especially in Border Wars. I think I refereed over 60 fights already, And shout out to WBC, too, because I kind of used some of their tutorials from what they have in their referee CD-ROM that I got. But it's hard. It's hard out there for a referee. We get what we can get from this, right? Adelaide does have heart. I think he has problems with the gas tank. So anything going past the 6 is questionable at this point. Only because, right, we haven't seen David Adelaide go past the 6th round in his last few fights. He knocked out Jamie Chiveka in the 6th. Solomon Dakaris, he got him in the 1st round. And I just recently seen Solomon Dakaris on a comeback fight against Vladislav Sarenko, which was a fight where I had a freaking 20 leg parlay, bro. I lost that 20 leg because of him, because of one fight. It was an amazing parlay. I would have gotten thousands of dollars, but it was one of those parlays that kind of like it was very strategic the way I planned that 20 leg parlay. I'll tell you that. But Vladislav Sarenko messed it up, and Solomon took the win. What I'm trying to get to is we don't know if his tank is certified. We don't know if David Adelaide's tank is certified. This fight goes past the 6. I'm leaning on Filip Hrgović. The later the rounds go, the more I'm leaning on Filip Hrgović. Filip Hrgović, he's been in full fight wars already. He's gotten a taste of it. We've seen how he's actually performed. Can't take too much away from him. Went 10 rounds with Joy Joyce in the rock'em sock'em. And look, Philip looked a little tired too. But he was taking a lot of shots. Both of them were. Joy Joyce was taking hella shots. So we'll see what kind of boxing style, David Adelaide's going to show us there. I like what I was seeing with Worley. Again, Worley's just a different fighter. Worley's one of those heavyweights that's fast, explosive. He's got the speed, but along with that speed, it looks like he could carry his weight pretty good. He's 243. Wasn't that much lighter than Adelaide, about 5 pounds. And it just looked like he was just faster, sharper. The fast twitch muscles are there. The development of in full functionality, I guess if you want to call it that, was on Wardley's side. So we got to see what things to worry about with David. Gas tank, bro. Got to worry about that gas tank. And those later rounds are questionable. Definitely questionable. Matter of fact, let me get back here. Again, shout out to everybody stopping by. Appreciate y'all, man. We're here live on Facebook, IG, X, and YouTube. So duly appreciate you guys always tapping in with me. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, so we continue to grow the show, so we can get into those press conferences, especially here on the East Coast. You guys know I'm based out of the East Coast. I'm near New York. I'm in Jersey. Got plenty of boxing bros out here, man. So I'm going to be stopping by the gyms pretty soon. My whole crew and everybody that I get down with, y'all know who I am. So I'll be stopping by pretty soon, man. And, of course, always putting the highlight on up-and-coming talent out of here from New Jersey, New York, tri-state area. So thank you guys for helping me grow the show. We're talking Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. We're just doing, full fight preview on the card to kick things off for the beginning of the week, leading into our betting show, so we get a good understanding of some of the fights that are going on. Lemon water. So, again, much appreciated for always tapping in with the chip. All right, let's continue down the line, right? But before we do, we'll, I guess, leave it off with some of the keys of victory for both David Adelaide, and Filip Hrgović, right? Let's at least leave that written in the sand before we continue to the next one. Okay, so David Adelaide, we'll start with him since we just finished him off. We saw what weaknesses he might have, right? And those weaknesses are gas tank. Gas tank's very important in boxing, right? Was it Muhammad Ali who said, fatigue makes cowards of men? It really can do that to you in the ring. And from what we saw right now with Wardley and Adelaide, that's exactly what happened. You start to get tired. You're not firing off as fast as you can. The advantage just starts to go the opposite way. And you got guys like freaking Fabio Wardley who are elite, athletes with every fast twitch muscle fiber firing off. You can't afford to be fatigued, especially in the later rounds. You get knocked out. So as far as weaknesses, gas tank was a major thing. I think that for the most part in this fight, that's what we saw. I don't want to, and we can say that he has good power. Obviously, he's been knocking the guys out. At least the guys that he's fought in the last two fights, if I'm not mistaken, right? Just to be sure. So just say the truth out here, right? Yeah, so he's knocked out the last two guys. And, for what it matters, he did look pretty well in the gas tank with Jamie Shkeva in that 6th round. So even though I'm giving him a C- on the gas tank for the fight with Wardley, I'm going to give him a B with the Jamie Shkeva. And that all has to do actually also with pressure and the type of fighter you're facing, since you can also be fatigued by the type of fight you're in. I think that Adelaide was a lot more comfortable in the Shkeva fight. So it's still his gas tank is still to be tested at a high level. As far as Filip Hrgović goes, the stand tall method. I think the stand tall method is a method of begging for body shots. So keys to victory would be body shots for Filip. And for Adelaide, just taking him into deeper waters, right? Later rounds, you could drown him, if that may be come fight night. So there you go, keys to victory for Filip and Adelaide. Some of the weaknesses that they've shown so far, what we've seen in some of this film study that we're applying for the preview today. So let's move on to the next one, right? A lot of action happening this weekend across the pond. Where we at? There we go. Matter of fact, I had it right here, didn't I? Oh, no, that's the Saul Canelo Alvarez. And there we go. Excuse me. Where we at? Shit. I think we can move into, and I don't know, I think we could move into Raymond Ford and Abraham Nova. I think we could do that. Let's matter of fact, let's tap in with my man Raymond. Where are we at? Oh shit not working. going on with my what's going on with my internet? Better not be messing with me. Got this new internet. New and improved. Don't mess with me. There we go. Yeah. Where the heck are you, Raymond? Oh man, Raymond Ford. I can't get into Raymond Ford right now. You kidding me? There we go. Jeez. Why you glitching on me, champ? Yeah, Raymond Ford. And Nick Ball's going to be on this card. And we all saw the Nick Ball versus Raymond Ford fight. Even though I give Raymond Ford some slack, he was still trying to make that 125, bro. And it was killing him. I think now at 130, a lot more comfortable. Of course, there's still some acclamation to be given there. But 2 fights in, on to his 3rd fight with Abraham Nova. Pretty sure Raymond Ford, the favorite in this fight, but he's in for another fight. I like so far the opponent selection for Raymond Ford. He's had some pretty good fights. I mean, fights that have gone the distance too. So he's definitely gathered up some rounds of experience. He has 133 rounds already in there, bro, and that's in how many fights did he have? Well, he's had a few fights. How many fights are we talking about here? 6, another 3. All right, yeah. So Raymond 17 fights in. I'm just looking at the rounds too. Experience counts for a lot, especially in development. You don't always got to be the knockout guy. 8 KOs. There's room there for stoppages. I mean, the fights keep getting harder. It don't get easier to knock guys out as the competition steps up. You got a ton of, if not all the fights, man, going the distance, right from the beginning of the career, 4-4. He's had very little fights that haven't, gone the distance. And if they haven't, they've gone almost all the rounds. So a lot of experience so far gained for Raymond. And, still a lot of hope for stardom. Great boxer, great fundamentals. But Abram Nova is no fundamental kind of guy, and I don't mean to say he don't know how to box. He's coming in there to take your head off. Who are we kidding, right? And, let's go back to, matter of fact, we're going to go to Raymond. We're going to start with Raymond Ford first before I get into Abram, because Abram Nova, he get a little crazy. He gets a little crazy in the ring sometimes. That's what I like too, though. When fighters get unorthodox in that ring, you start to see some crazy KOs happening. He's a bit of a risk taker, you can say. Is he Raymond Ford? Raymond Ford. Take a look at some of the highlights from him. And we should be looking at Nick Ball, but again, Nick Ball, I'm not going to just square it off. I'm not going to pay it off all to the weight, stress that Raymond Ford went through, in his loss. Obviously, Nick Ball was bringing it, and that might be the kryptonite right there. Pressure, heavy pressure. Definitely had Raymond, thinking once, twice, 3 times at certain moments in the fight. Lemon water. Hold on, guys. Oh man, let's see. Let's get back to the highlights then. Raymond Ford versus Orlando Gonzalez. Nah, we want the Nick Ball. We're gonna do the Nick Ball versus Nick Ball highlight. And again, I'm not writing it all off to the weight. That being a part of why Raymond lost that fight. It was a hell of a fight. A fight that a lot of us appreciated. Holy cow, give me a second while I fix this freaking thing real quick. Got my little cam about to fall and shit. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. All right. And perfect. Okay. Get back to you guys. There we go. Where we at? Yeah, we're bringing it up. Okay, I'm going to add that to stage. All right, we'll take a look at the zone. Raymond versus Fulton. Matter of fact, this was the whole entire card, too. Fantastic brawl. Yeah, look at the highlight. Remember, there was a 5-on-5, too. That was the 5-on-5 in Riyadh season, no? Yeah, that was it. Shit, almost forgot about that. Turkey was doing it big, bro. Right from the beginning, you can see, right? Right from the beginning. You know, Raymond, of course, good jab. But Nick Ball is a little bull, bro. You know, to me, sometimes Raymond would just lean on the ropes just a little too much, man. You know, sometimes what happens to fighters too, bro, honestly, sometimes fighters get caught up in just absorbing too much. You know, I can't tell you how many times we used to have some of the guys in the gym. I mean, I would even include myself in that at moments, even though I don't like to absorb too much shit. You throwing shit at me, I'm throwing it right back. You know what I mean? I'm not letting you get off more than 2 punches on me. Like, I'm not just going to sit there and let you wail on me. The fuck am I absorbing? Bruises? Fuck all that. But, you know, some guys sometimes fall into this, they fall asleep, fall into these absorption high guard moments, and they're just there taking punches. Look, you got tactics you can use when guys are, you know, using up too much energy. You know, punishment placement is ass, you know, so you're kind of catching them and shit, making them a little tired. But, you know, these things are done under real, you know, heavy discretion, if you want to say it that way. You know, I'm not just telling a guy, go absorb punches and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, absorb punches at this moment in the fight, and at this moment of the fight, it's got to be planned. Just don't go out there absorbing punches and fall asleep on me, because then by the time you know it, I got to beat up fighter when you get him to the corner. Can't even pick his arms up because he's absorbing too much. And, you know, Raymond fell into that in this fight. Look at this. Look at the punch count. Look, good body work there by Raymond. But you see, right, the head-to-head. But if you're going head-to-head, you gotta throw a lot of punches. He got caught a lot of times, too, with that stick out there. Gotta bring it back. You see that uppercut, right? My boy looked like he got stung by a bee right here. You know, he got the... Look at this. Hell yeah, bro. That uppercut stung him. So what I was trying to say, he gets, you know, Raymond, you see that lead hand, you know, you see plenty of fighters do this, you know, that whole lead hand out there, you know, trying to leave it out there, and they're, you know, you're trying to like hold the guard to his head so you can tap the body. You know, a lot of fighters use this. Shakur uses it. I mean, I go on and on about who uses it. But when you're using everything, every weapon you got to use, every weapon that you use in boxing can be used against you. You remember that, all right? That stick being out there holding Nick Ball's head, right? You know what I'm talking about. But if you don't bring that back, or you're not shooting off that left hand fast enough and bringing this hand back, you leave it out there, bro. You're setting yourself up for some ugly body shots to the right side of the body. Ugly. Easily from right that position, Nick Ball could come down with a right hand to the left side of the ribs right here. You know? I mean, of course, this is the left side, but... You know, on the right, with that hand being up, Ray's really, you know, giving away that body on that right side. So that hand has to come back quick. But what did Nick Ball do? I think he went for a body shot, then an uppercut. So he distracted the body, went up for the uppercut. Watch how it plays. Look. Boom, 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 boom. And again on the grab. It was a high guard. It was a high guard. It was a lot of high guard shit going on by Raymond, bro. Not the best performance. And I'm critiquing him on, obviously, a performance where he lost, right? He does a lot of things that are good. But I need to pick at him right now. I need to see what he did wrong. So what can I expect? You know, where can I expect him to go to fall asleep at the wheel a little bit? Let me see. Okay, here we go. Boom. Nick Ball just being the volume puncher. You know, and the way you take Raymond Ford's offense away is by just increasing volume. Increasing volume. Ooh, good double left hand by Raymond. Good fucking money right there. He's letting him he wailing on him now. It was a close fight too, y'all. I know you guys remember this. It was a close fight. Got to come back, say shout out to everybody that's still tapping in with me, man. Appreciate y'all. It's the second show of the day. And we're on Facebook, YouTube, X, and IG. And, of course, if you want to listen to us on sound, check us out on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all the other podcasting host sites that you might be on. And check us out. Download the MP3, P4, and take us on the go if you can't watch us visual. Again, thank you for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button. You should have hit that like button on the way in. And if you did, man, hit us on the way out. But don't wait till we're out of here. Hit it now. Get the algorithm going. Appreciate y'all, champ. And pretty soon we'll be definitely be able to get those media passes and get into the press conferences and start to bring these questions from the people to the fighters. And again, appreciate the fighters and everything they do, letting it all on the line for our entertainment. But we're breaking down full preview on the entire card, right, for Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte. Started off with Philip Hrgovic and David Adelaide. We're moving on now to Raymond Ford. And, of course, we picked out the fight where he lost just to try to pick out some of the things that he did wrong, considering even that he was already sacrificing so much to make that 125. We are definitely seeing some of the things that he does good as well. As you just saw right now, Raymond caught Nick Ball with a double left hand. And when he puts the moxie on his punches, when he applies his own pressure, Raymond can be a dangerous puncher as well. Let's get back into it. Boom, boom, boom. See, it's all about volume. That's what that fight was really about, just about volume. And we're already in the 9th round. Good volume from both fighters. Nick Ball just edged it like a little bull. You see? It's just more volume coming out of Nick Ball. This is what? Oh, this is the 10th round. Damn, they skipped to the 10th round real quick. I didn't even see it switch. Yeah, great fight. Good body work by Raymond Ford. I mean, look, we could pick apart some of the things that Raymond might have done wrong, but to be honest with you, fight that was close. I think that it was just Nick edged him by a bit. That's what happened. He just edged him by a bit, and even though it's excuses or whatnot, you don't want to. It is hard, bro. It is harder for a man in the later rounds, especially when they got to make that weight. That weight cut, man. It's the first opponent, bro. When you're in that weight cut, shit hurts.
To this day,
that shit hurts, bro. Anytime you're trying to cut weight, it's a toll on the body, bro. So Raymond Ford, I guess what I could pick out of this fight for him: don't fall asleep with the high guard. Don't fall asleep with the high guard. If there's anything that I could critique on this fight with Raymond Ford, was that he fell asleep on the high guard. You can't fall asleep with guys like Nick Ball. Guys like that, you got to continually be pivoting, counter-punching. And when I tell you counter-punching, you can't just be one punch. You got to do volume punching. And you see Raymond did that in a few of the exchanges. It's just it wasn't enough already leading up into those late rounds to catch up with the amount of punches that Nick Ball had already ahead of him. So, all right, we got what we got, right? We got what we got. Now, let's take a look now at your man, Abraham Nova. Which I'm thinking, right, Raymond Ford is the favorite. And we'll see. Well, matter of fact, I did have the line open. I forgot to tap back in on the betting line. We got to do a reference. I'm paying attention, champy. Especially when I'm offline, bro. I'm on that. Those numbers move. Let me see. Why? All right. They're pinpointing me right now. So, in the meantime, let me just get out of here real quick. Jump back online. All right. Let's look at Abraham and what he's done lately and what are we really looking at? with a name like Abraham Nova. Your man's supposed to be in the stars. Let's see. Okay. Wow. Yo, man. Abraham Nova fought in June against a guy named Herman Ivan Miraz. The dude's record is 65, 72, and 3, y'all. Wow. Yo, I'm so impressed. I gotta see who this guy is. From Mexico, bro. Shout out to Agua Prieta, Sonora, Mexico. Jesus. Bro, this man has 859 rounds. That is nuts. I don't think I've ever seen a guy with this many rounds, y'all. Bro, this is crazy. Bro, his box rec got 2 pages. Shit is bananas, bro. It's gotta be like it's gotta be the first I've ever seen like this, bro. 65 and 70, bro. The man had like 143 fights, and he had 3 draws. Yo, shit is nuts. That's crazy. That's really crazy, but we'll check him out. Abram Nova fought a guy. His last matchup was with a guy that has 143 fights. That's amazing. Damn, bro. I don't think I've ever seen somebody with this many fights. I mean, not even the old school fighter. We're taking it back to like, the back in the days. I never even seen this many fights. 140. I mean, nah. Who am I kidding? I know if I dig deep in my boxing brain, I remember some of the old schools were in the hundreds. Definitely, these guys were fighting every week. But damn, German Ivan was fighting fucking twice a week. He had a draw with Humberto Galindo. My man Abraham Nova. Excuse me. Where'd he fight him at? I fought him here in the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona. All right. Caught a draw. Yo, I don't know. For a second there was a lot of hype behind Abram Nova. He's still a contender. I'm not gonna put him out of whack so hard, but definitely somebody for Raymond to put, I guess, on the resume. And, Abraham Nova's going to bring the fight. He's going to bring the fight. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring that up now. I'm going to bring up his highlight. Stylistically, right? I mean, Raymond is just a better boxer, man. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. I mean, Abraham Nova versus Oshaki. He lost a split decision. Fair enough. Andre Cortez. I think I'd rather see him in there with Oshaki. I think Oshaki's resemblance to Raymond's style is a little closer. So we'll use that film study right now and see what we can get out of it. All right, let's put it on the screen here, and you're gonna get to see some of the defensive stuff going on. As far as Oshaki, and then we're gonna get to see Abram and how he reacts and acts, offensively and defensively with a style similar, right? I'm not saying it's totally similar, but we're gonna see some American style boxing, right, from Oshaki. Let's put him out there. Let's go. All right. There we go. And we're on. All right. Before we start this one too, man, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that like, and of course, if you want to continue to listen to what we got here on the Boxing Biz, hit that notification bell, champ. You know what I mean? And if you like what you're listening to, tell a friend to tell a friend, right? Make sure you spread the love, and if you know anybody else that likes tuning into boxing talk, some breakdowns and such, turn them over to the program. This is the Boxing Biz. And we duly appreciate your time as you spend it here with us. So let's maximize that. Let's get into the thick of things. Let's see what Abraham Nova gave us in this fight. There we go on the back foot. Right hand to the body, left to the top. All right. Whoa, sorry about that. You know what? Definitely got to put some of that soul music in the background for sure. Where is it at? There we go. All right, you guys are probably listening to a little bit in the background. Don't mind that. That's just, to keep us awake. All right, let's get back into it. Look at Abraham Nova. Of course, likes to throw the jab from the hip, as you can see. Very loose style of fighting. That lead hand stays dropped. You see Oshaki. Oshaki will try to take advantage of it. Nice. So far, 1-1-2 from Oshaki. Ooh, got caught with the jab again. See, that's something already to look at, bro. Some guys can really throw that jab from the hip. No problem. A lot of UK guys, too. Great jabbers from the hip. But you got to be careful when you're throwing jabs from the hip. Got to be careful. Even if you're a fast jabber from the hip, your hand could get pinned down by a parry, and you could get knocked out. That especially as you can see right now, you see Oshaki from the southpaw style, and you see my man Nova. Orthodox to southpaw. It's a different set of traps you can set. Normally, that orthodox to orthodox, again, you got plenty of traps that you work on there. But when you get into these opposite stances, things change a little bit. You got to be careful with some of the lazy stuff you do. This left jab, this left jab, if left down there in that hip for too long, I could pin it with my right hand, lead hand, and take my head off the line to get away from that left hand. I'll throw an overhand left. Easy work. Easier said than done in real action. There you go, Abram. Ooh, caught Oshaki with a nice little jab there. But if you really take a look at what Abraham's bringing, kind of herky jerky at times too. Herky jerky at times. I don't know if he was just having trouble with that southpaw stance in Oshaki. All right, let's see what we got lined up here. Yeah, Raymond's not southpaw, right? Let me get back to that just to make sure. Nah, he's not southpaw. Excuse me. And he is not. Oh, he is southpaw. Holy shit. I knew I was fucking forgetting something. All right, so maybe this Oshaki example is just a little bit tighter than what I thought. Yeah. That southpaw, that's what Abraham Nova is going to be encountering. And so far from what I'm seeing, look at the footing. The footing is what I'm paying attention to, too. Not just that jab from the hip from Abraham, Paying attention to the feet. Some fighters get really uncomfortable when they're fighting southpaws. I mean, super uncomfortable, bro. I've seen guys just tripping up on their feet. I mean, it's crazy. They're fighting orthodox. Everything's okay. Throw them in there with a southpaw, fucking looks like they're learning how to walk. So something to look at, which, your feet will take you there. I was taught that from the beginning. Look at that. Ooh, jump in right hand by Abram. However, Oshaki, keeping that left hand up. Yeah, if it's one thing that Abraham Nova got in this fight with Raymond Ford is if he brings the pain. If he brings the noise, if he really starts to go in there and starts to, throw, not carelessly, obviously, right? A guy that I personally liked the way he fought in against Hamza Shiraz was what's my man's name? Jesus, man. I always get him confused with Abram. El Caballo, man. Jesus, Lord Almighty. Let me just look him up. Because your boy Dumatron be catching his airflow in his head sometimes. Forgets. Let's see. There we go. Carlos Adames. Jesus, Lord Almighty. Thank you for bringing it back to me. So, yeah, El Caballo Bronco, right? I like the way Carlos Adames fights. That's a herky-jerky style that's hard to deal with, you know, and I think Abraham can bring some of that into the fight if he wants to. I've seen that he can get like that. He can get rough and tough in there. And, you know, I don't know who didn't give Carlos Adames credit for that fight with Hamza, bro. He was nasty with it, bro. The way he was moving. Look, maybe I'm taking it too far, but it was reminding me of Canelo. The way Canelo bobs his head, like, like, chill, champ. Carlos had Hamza clueless, bro. Clueless. But anyway, the little quick comparison, I'm not saying in totality, but I feel like Abraham can bring some of that herky-jerky style and maybe disrupt. You know, because boxers, what you need to do with boxers, man, is get them out of the rhythm. You can't let a boxer get comfortable. You know, Shaki right now shooting good work off the back foot, but definitely making him uncomfortable, you know. Good body work by Abraham Nova. Again, it's just Oshaki. Listen, Oshaki's just showing skill. You know, he's showing that he can quell some of that pressure, some of that relentlessness that shoots off every now and then from Abram. Oshaki, you know, that's one of the main reasons why Oshaki was able to get that dub, man. Got to know how to react to pressure. And, you know, the judges take a look at all that. Thing is that you see Oshaki absorbing the punches, but he's still applying forward pressure, and he's at least popping off once or twice in between those combinations that Abram's letting off. You know, you can win a fight. You know, you can block punches, absorb a little bit, and still win a fight in the eyes of the judges. It's just, you know, you can't sit for too long absorbing punches. You just can't do it, bro. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Jab for jab right there. Oh, snap. Yo, is Oshaki messing with me or what? He was in a southpaw stance. Yo, sometimes, man. I mean, look, man, we're living in the new age of boxing, bro. And some of these boxers just switch it up. I mean, Crawford's a perfect example. So Oshaki's orthodox, even though he switched up to southpaw. He switched up to southpaw. Originally, of course, an orthodox fighter. Oshaki, you had me right now. Thought you was doing the southpaw. I thought you were southpaw. Excuse me. He's a switcher. Better, even better, right? More wrinkles in the game. Switching. Let's see how comfortable he is back with an orthodox. You know, and being a switcher is not so bad. You know, especially if you really train for it in camp. If you really make it a part of what you are as a fighter. You know, some trainers have problems with the switch. I don't. Especially if I'm training you from the beginning on both styles, because I open you up to a whole new ton of opportunities to land. You know, when you're able to switch, you know, you're breaking patterns, you're less readable. Just a lot of good things. That's why my man Terrence does it. And even though I'm going for Canelo, bro, I still got Terrence. You know, right here in the corazon. I know deep down inside he got that dog, man. You know, dog recognized dog, champ. And he still has a chance. This is boxing, champion. Still has a chance. I don't think either fighter gets annihilated. This goes into a decision. And can't wait. Can't wait to September 13th. So far, Abram doing pretty well with Oshaki. Even though Oshaki, to me, you know, is absorbing less punches. You know, more willing to engage in combinations, in between combinations. A little riskier, obviously, but more entertaining. Yeah, Abram Nova's going to bring me to Raymond Forward, bro. I don't know. We're going to have to see a master class from my man Raymond. Seriously. Look. It's already the later rounds, and you still got Abram Nova coming at you. Oshaki firing off out on all cylinders, though. Look, dig into the body, bro. Nah, this is a tough fight, man. It's a tough fight for Raymond. It's a tough fight for Raymond, bro. I saw a lead hand, a little bit lazy at times. I could critique that. His willingness to trade punches, Abram, he could get countered pretty well. So yeah, a lot of good things, but you need to also see some of the things that can happen to him. And this is styles makes fight, folks. You know what I mean? A plus B don't always equal C. You know, it's just the styles. The styles, they collide a little different, you know, depending on which one you're bringing to the table. But I think we did enough of that. Let me see. Do I see anything else here? I'll give it a couple of more punch exchanges here to see what else I see. There you go. That lead left hand that drops. That lead left hand that drops for Nova. See how Oshaki takes advantage? He sees that lead left hand drop. He goes right over that shit with that 1-2. Watch it again. Watch it again. Even though Abram putting that pressure, damn, he's welling on him. But you're going to see it. Shit, what round was this? This was already the later rounds, too. Abram Nova's bringing some heat. Yeah, bro. See the hold? Good exchanges off the hold. Oshaki was earned. He earned his win, bro. Abram did not make this shit easy at all. Good uppercut by Oshaki. All right. I've seen enough. I've seen enough for this fight. I've seen enough, y'all. We know the keys to victory, right? We see what we saw. Raymond, don't absorb too much. And guess what? Abraham Nova looks like the guy that can wail on you all night if you let him. So don't let him wail on you too much. As far as Abraham goes, he got that lazy lead left, bringing it from the hip. Doesn't be careful. They could shoot right over the top of that, and he could get caught with some mean straightaways early in the fight. You know, speed is high at the beginning of the fight, so got to be careful. You know, and I guess Abraham Nova's willingness to engage is also, you know, it's not only is it a weakness, but it's also an advantage. Because styles make fights, and against a style like Raymond Ford's, that willingness to engage and that high volume can put my man Raymond possibly in a frozen state, right, to absorb too much punches. So keys to victory for my man Raymond: don't absorb too much punches. Concentrate on punch placement so that you can catch Abraham with a hard combo breaking shot. You know what I mean? Maybe a closer. You know, when these guys go in there and they're really trying to, you know, throw these 4, 5, 6 punch combinations, you can parry, deflect, maybe absorb a few of those punches and then land your own combo breaker, as I like to call it. Anybody that played Killer Instinct back in the day knows exactly what I'm talking about. Combo breaker. That's right. Finish him. I had that music in the background. So, yeah. Keys to victory. Double-edged sword from my man Abram with the pressure. Raymond, don't absorb too much, and look for punch placement. I think he could probably take a guy out. You know, guys that are just as aggressive in the ring can be taken out just as climatically also. You know what I mean? Guys that are willing to, like, you know, go in there and just throw hella punches and take those risks. Those counter punches can end you. So Raymond's got a little bit of homework to get done to see what the game plan is going to be looking like this weekend. So we move forward, right? Talking we're talking Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte this Saturday. We're starting off Monday, right? Bringing these fighters to light for this weekend's fights, and we'll continue to, you know, stop by and tap in as we get ready for our betting show this Friday for Saturday's fights. This is going to be a fight that's going to be going on, obviously, in across the pond. So make sure that you're ready early in the day, right? Because that's around the time that's happening, daytime fights. And matter of fact, just to get the right time on it, let's see. Just to let everybody know. Let's go. How they're not going to give me the time? Sheesh. Brother got to Google shit to get the time. You kidding me? Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. Time. Let's see. All right. So I guess they're expected to walk out around 5:20 p.m. That's Eastern time, right? 2:20 Pacific time. So, okay, fairly early. You know, the fight will end a little earlier than usual. That's what I kind of like sometimes about these across the pond fights. They end at a good time. Plenty of time to keep talking, politicking on the fights. Pretty cool. So, yeah, 5:20 is the expected walkout time. And then the undercard is set to begin at 12:45 p.m. Eastern time, 9:45 a.m. Pacific time. So you guys, just, jot that down on your boxing schedule, boxing calendar, and make sure that if you want to catch this card, that's the Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte and full fight card. You can catch it on the zone. Make sure you go get the subscription. Not sponsored, but hey, I want you to see some boxing, some good boxing. Go get it. All right. So let's move on to the next fight, right? That's what we were talking. We're going to go to your man's Nick Ball. Nick Pelota. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, we're going on to my man Nick Ball, champions. Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman. And we just finished seeing a highlight on Raymond versus Nick Ball. So we know what Nick Ball's bringing to the table, obviously. Nick Ball is volume puncher, little bull. You know what I'm saying? Little bull from across the pond and shit. Don't mess with the ball. He'll give you the horns. All right, here we go. Now, who has my man Goodman? Okay, he fought T.J. Doheny. Damn, he made the boy retire in his corner. Ronnie Rios. Okay, so these are the fights that he's had since Raymond Ford. And, I can honestly say Raymond Ford's probably been the best fighter that he's had since Ray Vargas. He had a draw with Ray Vargas, which, man, where's Ray Vargas been? Ray Vargas, a little animal. And Ray Vargas looks a lot different in his box strip pick. Damn. Does not look like that. Yeah, oh, he lost to Oshaki. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah, Ray Vargas lost to Oshaki, man. Unanimous decision. Forgot about that fight. Jeez, I got to stay in touch. Mark Magsayo, split decision, 12 rounds. Still good. Oh, that's for Ray Vargas. So he lost to Oshaki Foster. Okay. Just trying to get a gauge for my man Nick Ball. All right, so Raymond Ford, Isaac Dogbe, which I think I saw that fight too. I don't want to go too far back. All right, I guess we'll take a look at some of the we'll take a look at the Ronnie Rios fight. We obviously already saw Raymond Ford and Nick Ball, so I kind of got to get a sense of what Nick Ball was doing good in that fight. Maybe I should take a look at the T.J. Doheny. Let's see what fight actually gives us the best insight for this one right here. Let's see my man Nick Ball. Nick Pelota. Where you at, champy? He was fighting TJ. And here we go. I mean, he was able to retire him in the corner. Okay, now I definitely remember this fight. This is a decent fight too, man. TJ was doing his thing. Until he wasn't. Let's see if I remember this fight right. Yes, I do. Yeah, and TJ again. TJ was giving it, he was giving it his all, bro. Wow, why isn't this? Yeah, what round was that? 10th round he finished him. Jesus, Lord Almighty. Yeah, this was destruction. I can't even give him too much on that. He was destroying him. Ooh. Oh, snap. I remember. This is why I remember it so much, too. I think in this fight, TJ Doheny tried to choke Nick Ball or some shit, and Nick Ball gave him a Muay Thai kick to the calf. Y'all remember that? I'm going to have to bring that up. I don't think you guys remember that shit. Yo, you went Mortal Kombat on him.
Fatality.
Try to hit him with a Muay Thai kick. Yo, shit get crazy in boxing.
Let's go, champ. You feel me?
Anything can happen.
He's scared, y'all. He's scared.
Nah, shit. You kick me, bro. I'm kicking you right back now. But it was crazy. Let me just actually put it on for you guys. If you're seeing it right now, you'll see the replay. You see, he was choking him right there. He was choking him. He just kicked him. Hey, yo, they didn't disqualify him at all either. It was all on the camera, though, man. He was freaking trying to choke Nick Ball. Dirty fighter tactics and shit. Crazy. All right, so maybe this is not the best fight to get, to get a better gauge on this upcoming fight for Nick Ball. Let's just put in, because I definitely remember what Nick Ball did to him. Let's see what else we can get. All right, we'll put in Ronnie Rios. Since Ronnie Rios ended in a TKO. And, given that we just saw Raymond Ford and Nick Ball when we were, overlooking Raymond's fight, we could talk a little bit more about that after I just take a look at this Ronnie Rios, because I don't remember Ronnie Rios. Probably didn't catch that fight. Let's see what we get with Ronnie. And oh shit, yeah, he took him out. Damn, I remember this one too. He took him out of the ring. This is Fight Night highlights. Let's see. And let's see. Mr. Nick Ball. Demolish. Yeah. Yo, the Raymond Ford fight is probably the best gauge I can get, or the best, as far as competition. As far as competition, Nick Ball and Raymond was probably it right there. We know what we're getting from Nick Ball, bro. He's a relentless little pit bull. He is beating the brakes off of Ronnie Rios right from the beginning. Nick Ball's not afraid to get into a fight. Ooh, my God. Good left hook in the third round by Nick Ball. Yeah, we know what we're getting with Nick, man. And I'll share it again, Just trying to, give you guys a little bit of the insight that I'm looking at here. Look, it's just relentless. Look, boom, boom, relentless, boom. And again, you get caught up, with your high guard absorbing too much, you're going to get knocked out. Look at the volume punching. That must have been like 7-8 punches by Nick Ball. Guy, man. He's an aggressive little pit. Had Ronnie Rios thinking 5 times before he got up. Let's see how the finish happens, too. Let's see. And did it happen in the third round? No. This went on until the 10th round. Jeez. Ronnie, he was catching a whooping. Again, all relentless attacks, man. Which for Nick Ball, if the other fighter's not throwing, could be very advantageous, right? Nick Ball has the gas tank to keep throwing. You keep absorbing, it's not going to look good. Sam Goodman. All right, we know what we're getting. We know what we're getting from Nick Ball. We know what we're getting from him. Let's cut the crap. Let's move right into it, man. Let's move right into it because a lot of y'all been asking me about Sam Goodman. And there's some guys that you just don't hear. You don't hear too much about, There's certain guys you just don't hear too much about. Or maybe I've been out of the loop so long, but, my man Sam Goodman. Let's see what we can get from my man Sam. And some of his last fights, of course. And then we'll move on to the final, Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte, and we'll break down that fight. Again, guys, thanks for stopping by. You know, we're here in the Boxing Biz right now, just breaking down the full preview on the fight card this weekend. Starting off the week right, getting everybody aware and ready, right? We have that betting show on Friday, so we like to start off the week, with some of the highlights on the fighters who are on the fight card and on the betting line so that we can get a head start on some of the breakdowns that lead up into our Friday betting show. So some weaknesses, some strengths, and some keys to victory for each of the fighters on this show. So if you didn't catch us right from the beginning, this is what we've been doing. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, IG, X, and on all our podcasting hosting sites such as iHeartRadio, Apple, and all your other favorite podcasting hosts. Sites. So yeah, appreciate it. Hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like what you're listening to, share the program. Send it over to your mans in them or your divas in them, depending on where you stand, right? And let them know about the show. Let them know that they can call in. Let them know they can slip in live, right, with the link that I provide on the comment section. For anybody that's just stopping by, if you want to go ahead and come on and state your piece about some of the fights that are going on this card, and maybe give us some highlights into the future betting show on Friday, and maybe some of the things that you noticed, let us know, since this is a community-based show and we work together. I don't know it all, so the more we interact, the better the bets, the better we get. I usually do all the homework, so you don't have to, but if I miss anything, of course, I'm always willing to, bring you on and talk a little bit about it. So don't be afraid to use that link, that StreamYard link on the comment section. Come on, stop playing, handle your business. Jam. Let's see my man Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman. All right, Sam Goodman. What was my man Sam Goodman's last fight? Man's a 20-0. Bro, I'm still baffled by the guy with 143 fights. This is crazy. 143 fights. It's nuts. Where are we at? Cesar Baca Espinosa got a unanimous decision. Thachatana Langfong. Okay, Sam Goodman's fighting some guys that I really, really, really probably not too familiar with. Where is this all happening? It's in Australia? Newcastle Entertainment. Where is this all happening? Matter of fact, let me check this event. Sometimes I get the flags messed up. It is Australia. Okay. So Sam Goodman mainly has had his fights, if not all, in Australia. Holy cow. All in Australia, dude. It's going to be his first fight out of Australia. 8 KOs, 147 rounds. All right. He's gotten his rounds in. But some of these fights, man, it looks like everybody's gone down there. TJ Doheny, unanimous decision win. Nick Ball took care of the TJ, though. He stopped him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to take a look at this film real quick, but, off a resume right now, I got my man Nick on this one, bro. Nick to me looks like he's been in there with higher opposition. But tell me I'm wrong. Rais Salim. Okay, the Beast. I mean, I'm not saying Sam Goodman's got a washed resume. I'm not saying that. He's got some decent opponents on here. I'm not saying anything. Just looking at resume, and of course, boxing, bro. What have you done for me lately? Because that's this game. This game is about what have you done for me lately, bro. And lately, you've been in there with some guy named Cesar Cow Espinoza. Cesar Baca, okay. And who has my man Cesar been in there? Okay, Joel Cordova. Erico Robles Ayala. Look, checking the res. I can't, I'm not harping too hard right now for my man Sam Goodman. I'm not saying it's washed. I'm just saying. Nick Ball so far, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at this highlight too. versus Vaca. You know, we know what we getting with the Mexican style. Excuse me. Let's see what kind of pain my man Vaca was bringing in this fight. What kind of advantages we got to give my man Sam Goodman? We can't be too hard on this guy, even though he's fought all in Australia. You know, the hometown guy gets brought. You know, he gets brought up the career the right way. But sometimes, bro, they bring these guys out of Mexico, man. You know, they're there to quote unquote lose, but these guys be freaking dangerous. And some guys out of Mexico, man. I think Eddie Hearn said it the other day. Forgot what Mexican guy they had brought in for one of their fighters, man. She's escapes my mind, but even though he was there to lose, the guy ended up being great competition, and you know, definitely was there to fight. You know, you just never know what you're getting. Let's see what we got with Cesar Vaca. I'm going to share the screen again. We're finishing up the breakdown as we are going to touch down finally on Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte. I know you guys got plenty to say about that. You got the young lion versus the old lion, and you know what we're getting, right? You know, you can never count an old dog out. You know, the experience is there, something you can't fast forward. Experience is everything. Experience is important. Experience brings you those extra little wrinkles to your game that you can take advantage of, especially if you're in there with a younger fighter who hasn't had the full experience of championship fights, crazy crowds, right? Not to say that Moses hasn't been passing with flying colors. He has been doing a hell of a job, Moses. Not taking it away from you. Like your attitude towards fighting, too. And it's just a matter of just getting these opponents in front of you and seeing how you perform. I'm a Dillian Whyte fan. Even though my man Dillian Whyte has gotten starched, he's done his own business of starching. You know what I mean? We've seen him down. We've seen him knock guys down. And all I can say is that the experience is there. But we're going to get fully into that. Let's continue with my man Sam Goodman. Add him to the screen right now. Hopefully you guys can see. And let's hit that play button. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So far, I like what I'm seeing too from Vaca. Good stance. Sometimes, you know, Mexican fighters get a lot of slack. You know what I mean? For, you know, oh, they only got one style. You know, they just come forward fighters. Not all of them, bro. You got some Mexican fighters that know how to box. You know, and traditionally, obviously, if you're not getting that exposure in Mexico, unless you know, you got guys, or, you know, maybe coaches from Mexico and in America. You know, there's great relationships out there, you know. Fighters go up, get their fighters experienced. Fighters come from out of America into Mexico, get their fighters experienced and career started. And some of their fighters down in Mexico, even though they can't cross over, they get that American style experience and adopt some of the American style. So I've seen Mexican fighters able to adopt the American style. It's not out of whack. You feel me? Guys like, perfect example of the new up-and-coming talent is El General, right? One of the Vargas brothers. Jesus, Lord Almighty. Again, I catch a cloud and shit. What's my man El General is Emiliano. There we go. Emiliano Vargas. Great boxer. Love what I'm seeing from Emiliano right now. Shout out to the IG family, too, man. Young Tigre in the building. Young Tigre, if you still there, my bad, bro. I didn't catch you on the first fly there. Young Tigre, ching. Shout out to Young Tigre in Fort Riff, too. So let me just bring this back. So, yeah, just to say that the style's not always what you think, right, with the Mexican style. Let's see what Vaca was bringing. So far, Goodman. All right. Hey, look at Goodman. I'm already seeing some things I don't like. I'll be honest with you. You know, this is the third round, too, already. Right there. All right, stop right there. All right. You see these two hands? They're very wide apart, right? I'm not saying that you got to have your hands on your chest, but this is a little wider than I would normally like. And also according to his body type. I'm sorry, guys. I get really deep with this shit, right? This is when the war room opens up, all right? It's right here, a little too wide for me. That just, you know, in timing and speed, I can catch that body before you bring any of these elbows into play to try to deflect or block. You know, maybe you think you're super fast and you're going to parry, bring this left hand down, but then you're going to leave your top open to that right hand across the top. So, yeah, a little too wide so far for this. Listen, that's just Dumatron critiquing, right? Let's see what else we do. What are we getting from Sam? Has a good, solid, wide stance. Looks like he stands on his punches pretty well. That stance is calling for that. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Damn, Baca. Damn. Baca just hit him with a tate quieto, bro. Shit. Hold up, Baca. Baca hit him with the I'm from America combination. Look at that. Look. Whew. Uppercut, right hand, left hand. Oh, no. Nick Ball got a ton of those all night. Look at that. Sam Goodman trying to deflect with some of the eyesight. You know, good right hand lands for Baca. Shit, man, I might go back and look at this fight, man. Hey, yo, Baca just did the rope-a-dope two-step and went back to his corner. Oh, shit, man. This must have been a fun fight to watch. Sam Goodman again, good jab. Good jab, but he falls asleep when those combination punches are coming at him. Good counter punch, pull and counter by Goodman. Okay. From what I'm seeing from Goodman, that he likes to come forward, but again, it's a little more controlled than Nick Ball's, which of course that's a positive. A little more careful in coming in with punches. I mean, you know, and again, we're giving the all the credit we can give Sam Goodman according to the opponent he has in front of him. I didn't see this fight, but I will see it in its entirety. This all goes along with my film study for the betting show. But of course, from the highlights, what you can see is Baca was there, you know, to put on the show as well. Gave Sam some wrinkles to worry about. How did this fight end, as a matter of fact? This fight ended in a unanimous decision, so must have been a good fight to look at to get some sense into what Sam Goodman has. I don't know what that stop was there for. It looks like the referee was complaining a little bit. What else we got going on here? All right. Same thing. All right, so Sam likes to fake the jab to the body, then fake it to the top and come in with a right hand or maybe another jab. What the hell just happened? Thought my dog fell off the couch or something. Jeez. All right, so let me press play again. Don't do that again, little pup. There we go. Sam Goodman. Eyes wide open, too, bro. This guy's focused. Good right hand up top. I mean, look, man. I like what I'm seeing from Goodman. Good boxing, but you know, it all goes back to what kind of fighter are you when that pressure is upon you? You know, Baca was not giving them the type of pressure that Nick Ball's gonna give him. You know, it's just spurts. Nick Ball could keep going for a whole round, nonstop, straight wood chipper. I don't know. Look at my little dog. What do you want to do, little guy? You want to go out there? Go ahead. Go out there. Jeez Louise. Call me the dog father. All right. I don't think I need to see any more from my man Sam Goodman until I actually do my deep dives, right, on the film studies. From these highlights in today's show, I guess I could pick a little bit at Sam and Nick Ball and see where this fight might be going. We're going to take a look at these weaknesses, these advantages, and of course, maybe some keys to victory for both these fighters. Nick Ball, I mean, you keep doing what you're doing. Heavy pressure, eventually landed some hard shots, get that energy meter bar down from your opponent. You know, the thing with Nick Ball is that fighting a guy like Sam Goodman, who's a little bit more cautious, you know, and engaging, And from what I'm seeing right now in this Baca fight, he has a good pull counter. So he's a good counter puncher. And he keeps his eye focused on high alert. I mean, what do I mean by that? I mean, he's on high alert. You know, whenever you see a guy, you know, peeling his eyeballs, he's on high alert. I mean, and it's hard to fight like that too, you know. Sometimes you can over anticipate things when you're fighting like that, but I think it'll keep him safe in a fight with Nick Ball. I don't see enough volume, and that's the only thing worrying me, you know, because at the end of the day, this is the fight business, and judges are gonna base this shit off how many punches you received and didn't receive. So for Nick Ball, keep doing what you're doing, but then again, that could work against you if you're not careful in those engagements. For Sam Goodman, not enough volume, but cautious enough to maybe land one of those pull counters that can definitely change a fight and in any given moment. So yeah, that's the breakdown right now so far for the entire card. Now again, if you're just stopping by right now, we appreciate you stopping by, fam, and spending your time with us here on the Boxing Biz Podcast Show. We're open on all platforms, social media platforms such as Facebook, X. We're on Instagram. And for sure, catch us on Sound, iHeartRadio, and all the other podcast hosting sites. So appreciate you guys always tapping in with me. We're back on schedule. Last week and a half, of course, as you can see, I've been working on the studio. We got a new look, a lot of things happening, merch. You know what I'm saying? Got to show you my TBV, my TBB, right? Shout out to TBV too, bro. Got the TBB, the Boxing Biz shirts. So, yeah, stay tuned, man. We got a lot of cool things going on. And so far, the highlight has been this betting show, too, on the weekend. So stay tuned with us on the Better Betting Show on the Boxing Biz Podcast. That's on Fridays for Saturday's fights. If we have fights on Friday, we have a betting show on Thursday. And so far, we've been in the green. We're doing great. Don't want anybody losing their shirts. If you don't bet, it's cool. And you can tune in with us just to parlay about or talk about the fights. But if you're just starting betting, you know, if you just started or are curious to bet, I suggest, you know, you take a look at some of these shows as we talk more and more. And I'd like to break down some of the betting strategies so that you guys could get a little more aware and familiar with what it is to bet and put your money on the line. You can do it in a smart way. You can hedge. You don't have to bet with so much emotion. I think that's when people lose their shirts, right? When you're betting with emotion and you're really trying to seek this like $20,000 bet that you think you're going to win, like, and then you go ahead and you put like $500 on it, and then next thing you know, you're losing. You know, the odds are stacked against you. What we got to do here on this betting show is turn them shits around as far as we can. And that's what we'll do on the weekends, all right? So now, where's my alarm, matter of fact? Do I even have an alarm? You know I'm still working on the soundboard, right, champies? I guess I'll do the Sports Center. All right, finally, we are here now for the breakdown of Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte. All right, and we're here. Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte this weekend, Saturday, across the pond. And, you know, this is a fight that, you know, for as old as the stories have been, right? The old lion about to get taken out by the young lion, or will the old lion hold his ground and you know, claim his kingdom for one more year, right? I mean, y'all seen the Nat Geo stories, bro. Old lion, you know what I'm saying? Getting pushed around by the young lion. Next thing you know, big fight. Sometimes the old lion still got it. And this is what we're gonna find out this weekend. And some will probably say that they're moving, you know, Moses a little too quick. But when you're knocking guys out like he is, I mean, what are you gonna do, bro? You're knocking guys out like Moses is inevitable. You know, they're gonna throw you in there. If you think you got it, then go get it. Let's see. Let's bring it up. And what can I actually show you guys? I mean, my man Dillian Whyte hasn't been in the ring, yo. My man Dillian Whyte has not been in the ring. Moses is 12 fights in. Yeah, they're bringing him pretty fast, bro. 10 KOs. Who did he go all the rounds with? Kevin Nicholas Espindola and Konstantin Dobachenko. Holy moly, do not know these guys. But my boy's only like 12 fights in, bro. Who else he got in here? This is the guy, y'all. Yo, Dillian Whyte's the guy, bro. Woo! This weekend gonna be full of crazy bets. Yo, I know a lot of y'all like, yo, Moses is gonna take Dillian Whyte out. He been knocking everybody out. Y'all better watch it, man. Y'all better watch it, man. Maybe I need to remind y'all of what's been going on with my man Dillian Whyte, like what he represents, the people he's faced, and the people he's faced at their, at their best. I mean, if you look at my man Moses, the last God knows how many fights. I mean, he's knocked everybody out the last several fights. He has not zero, but he has very minimal professional round experience, right? And again, some of this stuff counts, some of this stuff doesn't. It's just, it's just facts, right? Oh, snap. I hope y'all can't hear. I think I got Blues Clues playing not Blues Clues. Bluey playing in the background. Hold up, man. I gotta lock this. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, bro, but I actually play Bluey when I leave the house. I got my doggies here. What's up, little champ? Got my rider right next to me. Y'all know him? Say hi to the fam, champ. This my little dog. This my little champ. Gabagool. All right, Gaba. Go over there. That was your 30 seconds of fame real quick, champy. Okay, where we at? Dillian Whyte. As I bring in, I'm going to bring up Moses Thomas. I mean, he's knocked out all his guys, right? That's just facts. Let's see. Accept. Okay. And we're going to accept again. What I'm trying to get to is this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the producer, bro. Always putting in work while I'm on the mic. Shout out to you. We a small outfit, man, and I'm taking in apps too, bro. Anybody that wants to help with the growth of the show, you want to be a wrench on the YouTube channel, maybe to moderate the chat, help out, maybe throw up some polls, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Remember, I can't do it all by myself, so I welcome any volunteers, anybody who wants to be part of the growth and start here in the ground floor with me as we rise. Just hit me up. I know I got some of you guys as wrenches, and we have so many social media platforms to attend to. Can't attend to them all always. I mean, we have spaces that we're supposed to be opening up on our Boxing Biz account, and we haven't done so as we are lacking a little bit of manpower at the moment. But as we build more systems, we'll get there, even if we do it with a small squadron here. So yeah, appreciate anybody that's volunteered and continues to help with the growth of the show. You're much appreciated. Heavy hitter. Gee. All right, let me bring up my man Moses and his last fight. God, bro, I can't even put two rounds with Mike Balagoon. I don't know who this dude is. I mean, he knocked out Marius Wack, but it's safe to say that your man Wack is 45, bro. I don't care how big he is, the Viking, all that. But your man he's not like he's super active. And I don't know how much credit I could give him. You feel me? I don't know how much credit. But I'll put up the Marius I'll put up the Marius Watch fight just because it's worth looking at, right? There we go. Marius Watch, and there we go. Maybe some of y'all forgot how he took him out. But it's all hard shots, man. It's all knockout shots. Okay, there we go. All right, let me press pause on this real quick as I bring this up. Segundo, mundo. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Had to adjust my camera real quick. And let's bring this onto the stage. All right. If you guys can see, we have the Moses Itauma versus Marius. Excuse me, Marius. Yeah, it is Marius. Marius Whyte. Okay. Boom. Quick fight, 2 second round knockout. But what can we get from Itauma? Good left hands to the body. Ooh, my goodness. I mean, the veracity that we got from Moses is it's that young testosterone, man. That boy got the killer in him. You know, my man Marius Whyte is on the way out, man. He's still holding ground. But you just see the youth is just, you know, you can see that. And I apologize for the herky jerky video right now. Where in the world? What's up, little guy? My dog be making noises behind me. Like he hitting backflips. You all right, Shan? All right. I don't know if I could give too much credit here, bro. A lot of y'all got the game messed up, man. He's in there with Dillian Whyte, bro. You know, what I could give him credit for? I could give him credit for finishing an older fighter. I could give him credit for doing what he was supposed to do. You know, I like the way he stood in the pocket. I like the pull and counter with the left hand. I like the pivot he just did. I like the body work and then the right hook up top. I mean, his punch placement for one is very good. You know, punch placement is very good. Let's talk about punch placement then. So far from what I've seen here, the punch placement was phenomenal. Every punch that he went for landed it, and he targeted it the right way and landed the right way. So, you know, the kid has eyes, sniper eyes. He's, you know, and a lot of guys can't do that. You know, punch placement is a big thing, bro. You know, I don't think it's you know, I don't think people concentrate too much on teaching the accuracy, right? You know, it's always about punching pads and all this other, you know, it's all good, part of the workout, but you know, there's definitely ways to hone in on that ability to snipe and hit the targets, right? See it and hit it. Let's see. I think he finishes them. Yeah, he finishes them in this second round. Let's see some of the things. Good parry. Stood in the pocket. Okay, I just replayed this. Knocked him down. All right. What are we getting from here? I think Marius Whyte is finished at this point. Yeah, man. My man Marius Whyte looked like he's ready to go to soccer practice with the family, bro. Kidding me? Still a great fighter. You know, he's put a lot of good fights, Marius Whyte, but it's too much, man. Look at this. That was just all veracity. That was all, you know, the energy. Hey, little guy, you all right there, buddy? Want to relax? Excuse me. Got gabagool over here, scratching up the couch. A lot of veracity. That's what we're going to get from Moses. Young fighter, full of energy, full of youth, hasn't been hurt, you know. You know, he has a lot of life in him. You know, he's up against my man Marius Whyte. Come on, he's on his way out. Still a formidable guy, you know, to have on your resume, somebody to go up against that's you know, guy has mettle, but not the guy that you want to measure up in comparison to a fight that he's up against Dillian Whyte. Just, they don't happen like that, brother. It don't happen like that. Ferocity, speed, youth, accuracy, all makings of a champion. Got to give it to Moses Itauma, especially after watching what I just did right now with him. And I'm pretty sure he did it to everybody else. But, guys, there's just not enough rounds of experience, right? It's not enough rounds of experience. He did the right thing in taking out Marius Walking the way he did. That's what you're supposed to do, right? He's going to go in there try to do that to Dillian Whyte. It's just going to be a different – it's a harder task, taller task. Of course, I know this. I'm very interested in seeing the approach to this fight, because remember, my man Dillian Whyte got one of the illest left hooks in the game, and Dillian Whyte has a lot of reach on those hooks, man. Yeah, I know he could catch you from like 5 steps away with that left hook, and he'll knock you the hell out in between your power shots. So Moses is gonna have to be very careful coming into this fight with Dillian Whyte, bro. The experience is there. The opposition that Dillian Whyte has faced in his career puts him in a great place, right? And going up against a young lion. Sometimes we've seen this, man. Young lions get stepped up too quick, too fast to somebody they shouldn't have been stepping to. And I just hope they know what they're doing with Moses. I think he has a great future and a career as a heavyweight. Kind of reminds me of the same build as Fabio Wardley, that fast, explosive, fast twitch heavyweight. These are the guys that are really, truly very dangerous, in my opinion. Given that every heavyweight has power, and it's a heavyweight division. You get hit with any of these guys, you might get knocked out. That's the division where the KOs happen. And he has that ability, Itauma. Excited to see what he does. Weaknesses, I guess what I can put as far as a weakness is that the lack of experience, right? The rounds, and that can show if a fight was to go the distance with Dillian Whyte. And I think that if this fight does go the distance, that I think maybe if it goes into the 11th and 12th round, I'll give it to Moses as having the advantages. But I think that between those rounds of 7 and 9, I think that, Dillian Whyte will have an opportunity there with that experience, right? With the late round experience. The reason I give Moses 11 and 12, if he gets that far, is because the youth is there, right? I'm expecting more energy from him. And, those are the keys to victory, the strengths and weaknesses. Dillian Whyte, for me, is that left hook, the experience. And, that experience, you just can't buy that. You can't forward advance that. You lived it or you didn't. What's up, Gabagool? What you looking for, bro? Buried treasure in that motherfucker? Damn, champ. Damn. Wilding for respect. So, yeah, Dillian Whyte, experience, left hook. And again, I can't toot on the experience enough, bro. In those 7 through 9, even 10, it's gonna show. I'm excited to see this fight though, and even though this was a light breakdown with you guys, as we continue to get into the weekend and into fight day, we will of course be putting on that betting show on Friday for Saturday's fights, and a bunch of other stuff happening on the boxing landscape, of course. Teofimo in mentions with Shakur Stevenson going back and forth. We have the Terrence Crawford, obviously, fight with Canelo in September 13th, who has gotten so much attention. I like the way they're promoting the fight. I like the way my man Terrence has his own channel. Him, Steven, and the whole gang got me laughing. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of guys that, I would hang out with, tell you the truth, and I don't hang out with too many people, but mad chill. Check out the channel. Gives you a little bit of insight on kind of the normal life, and it gives us a little, I guess, not a softer side, but another side of who Terrence and the crew is. I think that the episodes are fun, so it's cool to check out. A lot of attention. Canelo too. He's everywhere, getting some good sparring. The fight is getting major attention. I like it. And we have a bunch of other things going on in the boxing landscape. So we'll be here always tap in with us. Make sure you hit the subscribe, hit that notification bell, Champy, if you want to know the next time we're going live. And, of course, hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate you guys spending your time with me. You've been here 2 hours, 19 minutes with me, and I duly appreciate it. Let's keep growing this community. Let's get to these pressers. I'm on the east side here in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, so let's get in there. Boxing Biz. Let's get your questions to the fighters, from the people to the people. And let me go back to the comments section just to see if I've missed anybody. Listen, if you want to tap in with us and call in before we close out, go ahead and use that StreamYard link, which is, I think, pinned to the top, starred on the comments, on the chat. You can go ahead and tap in with us and maybe, state some of your piece on some of the fights that we talked about on this episode. Of course, we covered the entire card. Took a look at some of these weaknesses and, of course, some of the strengths and keys of victory. We'll continue. I'll definitely continue to do a deep dive. This is light, y'all. You know what I mean? For the betting show, deep dive for me. I have to study all these fights and see the politics. There's so much that goes into these betting shows. So I hope you guys appreciate it. And I really definitely hope that you hit the like button and turn up because it really keeps me motivated. And I put a lot of time into this. And, of course, I do this for free, y'all. Nobody pays me. I do this because I love the sport of boxing, and I've been in this space for, I think, now over 8 years. So if you didn't know that, you guys could check me out, Google my name, YouTube me, whatever. For those that know me, shout out to y'all. For those that would like to get to know me, keep stopping by, and we'll keep kicking it here on the Boxing Biz Podcast. I think we're out of here. We appreciate everybody. You already know that Dumatron was definitely activated. But it's time to go. The activation commenced.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.